video and my channel. My name is Heather. I am the owner, creator, and official dishwasher here at A Wicked Whisk. And today, it's all about red, white, and blue cookies. These are delicious, they're soft, they're sugar cookies, and you cannot deny they're fun to look at. They're even more fun to make. Just a little bit of food coloring, a basic sugar cookie recipe, and you have the perfect festive cookie to bring to any summer get-together, any Memorial Day gathering, 4th of July, third Tuesday of the month. Any excuse to eat these cookies is going to be okay in my book. These are super easy to make and a lot of fun. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, show you everything you need so you can make these too. Let's go get started.
Okay, so we're going to start with some basic ingredients. This is just a regular soft sugar cookie recipe. So you're going to use flour, butter, sugar, baking powder, clear vanilla, eggs, food coloring, and a little bit of salt. Very basic. Next, go ahead and in a large bowl, combine your baking powder, your salt, and your flour. Set that off to the side. Next, you're going to go ahead and add your sugar and your butter. You're going to cream your sugar and your butter together for, I'm going to say like about a minute, because you want it really kind of light and fluffy. It's what makes all the magic happen. Now, once you've got your butter and your sugar creamed together, you're going to work on your eggs. This recipe calls for 1 full egg and an egg yolk. So that second egg you're going to split, and you're going to use the egg shell to go ahead and siphon out the egg yolk. Add that with your full egg, and then add that into your sugar and your butter. And you're going to go ahead and, using your mixer, you're going to mix all that together. Like I said, about a minute, just so everything kind of comes together. Go ahead and add your vanilla, and then add in your dry ingredients. Now you can add your dry ingredients little by little or all at once. Simply mix everything together, and it's going to seem a little crumbly at first, but keep going and you're going to end up with a very soft cookie dough. Now, because we are going to be using red, white, and blue sections, I will divide this into 3. And to do that, I basically make a peace sign so that everything has its own equal amount. I will scoop out the one section to one separate bowl, a second section to a separate bowl. So I have 3 separate bowls of cookie dough. Put your gloves on here. Next, go ahead and add a little bit of the red food coloring to the one bowl. You're going to add the blue food coloring to the second bowl. And then, of course, the third bowl is going to be like what we would call the white in the red, white, and blue. So you don't add anything to that third bowl. Use as much coloring as you would like, as little or as much. Just kind of get something on there and get working with it. And then you can kind of decide exactly how much more color you may want to add. Sometimes you want a little bit of color, sometimes you want a lot. So just kind of take your time, use your hands, or if you're using a mixer, feel free to do that as well. Just be sure to, kind of go slow. Try to keep the madness contained, if you will. You're trying to keep your red in your red and the blue, because red and blue together make purple. So that's a whole different holiday than this. Now, once you go ahead and get done with your red, if you're using your hands, switch out your gloves to a fresh pair of gloves. Like I said, red and blue make purple. If you don't switch out your gloves, or at the very least take a paper towel and kind of wipe your gloves off, you're going to end up with purple cookies. So just try to, start with a little bit of food coloring and then work it through. If you need more, it's easy to add more. You can't take it away, but you can certainly add. So just kind of take your time and use your hands and get to the color that you want. At this point, stop and add about half a cup of sugar to a 4th bowl. That's the bowl, the sugar you're going to roll your cookie in right before you finish it. Now, pinch off a little of the blue dough, the red dough, and the white dough. Basically, you're going to make a ball, roll it all together, okay? And then what I do is I break it in half and then start repositioning those pieces, because you're looking for a very colorful swirl effect here. So I usually go ahead, break off all the pieces, roll it back into a ball once again, run it through that sugar, okay? That's your finishing, and then move that to a baking pan. And I'll show you again. It's very easy and it's a lot of fun. Once you get on a roll, you don't even think about it. A little bit of white, little bit of blue dough, and a little bit of red dough. Make a ball, okay? Get it started there, and then basically break it apart and just kind of start repositioning all those colors. I have the red next to the blue next to the white, you know what I mean? And then roll it into a ball once again. Go ahead and run that through that extra sugar there, okay? And then move that to your baking pan. When you're completely done and you have all of your cookies on your baking pan, go ahead and bake this at 350 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes. My oven takes 10 minutes. Yours may be different. Once you're done, that's it. Let them cool, break them apart, see how cute and how pretty they are. Look at those colors. These are going to be an absolute hit at any summer gathering you bring these to.
Hey guys. Okay, so how easy are those cookies? It's just a basic sugar cookie recipe. It gets no easier than that. The only thing I'm going to suggest is this. Let's talk real quick about food coloring, because that's kind of a big deal. I have, through the years, tried every kind of food coloring out there. I think everybody kind of has their favorites or what they're used to. But so let me just kind of tell you what I have found when it comes to making, things using food coloring. Number one, if you're of a certain age, like myself, you grew up and you were used to your mom using the little, the little things of food coloring that were almost like colored water, for lack of better, term. Obviously it wasn't water, but it was very liquidy. And they do still sell those. And I probably still have some of those hanging around. The thing with that is this, cooking, if you're cooking is, can you hear my dog walk through the kitchen? Thanks, Haley. When it comes to cooking, it's a labor of love, okay? You can add a little more garlic, you can add a little bit extra of this, a little bit extra of that. But when it comes to baking is a science. So when you start adding extra liquid, like liquidy food coloring into your mixes and your batters, it's going to change to me at least, it changes the consistency. Especially if you're trying to go for a real vivid punch of color, you're adding a lot of that liquid into your batter. And like I said, it changes things and you never really get that color you're looking for anyway with that type of food coloring. The next thing that they sell are like concentrated gels, and they come in like little tubes like this. And these are really easy to find in most grocery stores, big box stores. They usually come in a pack of 4. Like this one was a pack of like primary colors, so it was red, yellow, blue, and I don't remember the other color. I think it was green. And I have done this recipe so many times over the years that I literally have a bag left of yellow and green. There's 1 or 2 reds and blues in there, but the yellow and green gets absolutely ignored. And I'm sorry to it for that. But, this stuff is great. This stuff is really good. You're using a lot of it though. You know what I mean? Like I remember like when I first started, I did these beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, like bright pink cookies for I think it was breast cancer awareness or Valentine's Day. They were almost neon. They were stunning. I used 2 tubes of this stuff in there. They were pretty, but probably not edible. So, when it comes to these, you always are trying to go for that major punch of color. This is definitely a better alternative than using the very watery, version that we all grew up with. And last but not least is this. These are concentrated colors, usually from Wilton or some variation, a company similar to Wilton, if not the actual Wilton company. These are basically just kind of a kicked up version of the tube version, okay? These also can be found, I would say you can definitely find them online. I bought mine at Walmart. I know that like my normal groceries, my normal, what you call a normal grocery store does not carry these, but these are also, like I said, very concentrated, and I liked this one better. Okay, I've used them all and I like the little tubs better. So it just kind of, I feel like you get more color out of it. The only other thing I'm going to say about the food coloring is this. You'll see in the video where I put on gloves before I was working with the food colored batter. The reason is pretty obvious, as I still have, can you see the blue? Yeah, see the blue on my thumb? Yeah, that's from yesterday. This stuff is no joke. Like, this packs a punch. So if you are going to be making cookies like this or some kind of variation to where you're going to be using a lot of the concentrated food gel, the food coloring, definitely consider, grabbing a box of disposable gloves if you don't already have some, around your house. They don't need to be expensive. They don't need to be fancy. They can be the ones that, you get when you buy the thing to dye your hair. They don't have to be anything elaborate. Just something to protect your hands from that food dye, because if not, you will have dyed hands. Ask me how I know. So something to consider. other than that, this is a very easy recipe. Obviously, they're great for barbecues and parties and everything else. You would just simply let these cool on your cooling, your cooling rack, and then once they're cooled, move them to a zip top bag or an airtight container. You can leave these on your countertop for, a couple of days. You want to get them, you like your cookies cold, move them to the fridge. So, like I said, very easy. And if you check the description box down below, I have a link to my actual recipe on my website. I am a food blogger. I have a website. So the recipe is actually linked down below, and you can just go ahead and print it off. Make it for your family. Have a good time. That pretty much wraps everything up. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.